I'm the Moorlander and this is Moorlander EDC. I hope you're all well. I hope you've been having a great day wherever you are in the world. A few months back, a company that's new to me, certainly not new on the market, Hex have been around as a standalone company now since about 2010, if my research is correct. Got in touch and asked if I'd like to have a look at one of their products, and they gave me free rein to choose something from the website. So I went for a small crossbody bag, mainly because of how invaluable these items are for EDC, and I'll sing it from the top of the treetops just at how useful these small bags are. So we are here today to look at the Hex Ranger Crossbody bag. Now, the Hex Ranger series, I think you could probably call them a series. They have a few different items in that series. There is the small crossbody bag. I believe, if I'm right, there is a sling. There is also a backpack. So there's quite a few items in there, but mainly they're designed around carrying electronics, especially small cameras. What we'll have a look at today is, just how the extra padding in this certainly protects electronic items in there. So I think it's fair, and I think it's right for me to thank Hex for sending this my way. It's actually been really nice to test this. I took this to Germany when I went to IWA a few weeks back, and it was great because of some of the organisation that's in here that you can do for cameras and that sort of thing. But also taking it out of that, I've been testing this for the last few months purely just on using it as an EDC bag, and it works exceptionally good as an EDC bag. So what I'll do, as I usually do, I'll turn the camera around whilst I'm doing that. If you find this that you like this content, please feel free to hit that like, share, or like, subscribe and share button. That would be absolutely amazing. One thing that I've realised that I don't do, and I suppose I should do that, is that if you do choose to hit like or subscribe and share, thank you. I appreciate that. It helps out my channel quite a lot. But for now, let's get the camera a little bit closer so that we can have a better look at the Ranger Crossbody bag. So as we usually do, we'll go through some measurements, we will go through some materials, and then we'll have a look at the features of the actual bag itself. Now, I do have a few bags similar to this, so I think it'll be right. We'll have a little bit of a compare and contrast, and we'll also do some, let's call them metrics. Yeah, let's call them metrics for now. There are a few tests that I do with these similar bags that I'm sure some of you definitely want to find out how it compares against other bags. So we'll do some of those as well. Now, as this is an American company, I thought I'd do all of this in the Imperial system. So measurements wise, it comes in at 8 inches by 6 inches by 2 inches deep. So it's a fairly standard size for this kind of EDC crossbody style bag. It's certainly no larger or no smaller than other bags like this. Materials wise, rather than just going for a no-name ballistic style nylon, they have opted for Cordura on this. So here in the bottom left hand corner you can see that it's got the little Cordura logo for authenticity, but it's also the Cordura Eco version of the fabric. So certainly if you're after or looking for companies that have a reduced carbon footprint or products that have a reduced carbon footprint, it certainly helps with those credentials if that's something that you hold quite strong in products that you're looking towards. The other hardware on here, so we have a zip here, and there are 2 zips here into the main section, and these are Cordura, or these are the newer RC YKK zippers. I don't know why I said Cordura then, sorry about that. Now, I have to point out that as far as a pull on these are actually very smooth. And I know with YKK zippers, generally they're a lot smoother than no-name brands. But one of the things that does affect the smoothness of the pull often is how close the outer material is stitched close to the actual tracts of the zips. Whether this is done on purpose or whether it's just the way that it was, it just happened to be slightly further apart, it does mean that the actual zipper puller doesn't get any friction from the material either side of the tract. So when you pull it, it's a lot smoother than other bags. It's just something I thought I'd mention. It's very nice, and I'm overgilding the lily here, but it's very smooth when you're pulling these. The zipper pulls on them, they have these hex zipper pulls, which are very nice, but what you get with a lot of these is you tend to get that jangle that you get from zips. So what I've done is I've added some of these tack pulls from Ventum Gear. I was lucky enough that whilst I was in Germany a few weeks back that Ventum gave me some extra ones of these. They do help to reduce some of that, well actually they help to reduce a lot of that jingle, but also just to be able to grab something and pull it, it certainly adds to that. Now whether you use these tack pulls from Ventum Gear or whether you add any other additional pulls to these, you will find that it does help to reduce the noise from the jangles. They've continued with YKK though, so here are the plastics that are on what's this called? It's called the strap, isn't it? Oh, clearly it's called a strap, sorry about that. All of the plastics on the strap here, these are also YKK, and the D-ring is YKK on there. So really there's a lot of high-end materials on this. Now I don't know if I've already mentioned this, I think I did, but so this is designed to make sure that if you've got something in here that it has an extra layer of protection. So all the way through this main body, and we'll have a look on the inside, it's all completely lined with EVA foam. So if you were to take it and compare it, which we'll have a look a little bit later as well, but the yeast pack version, there's no lining in this whatsoever. It's just pure material and no protection other than the material and what's inside. Whereas with this one, the EVA lining, or the EVA foam lining that's in here, gives it, one, it gives it that extra protection, but also it gives it a little bit more rigidity as well, so it keeps its shape. Now that has one of two things. Something like the East Pack version is very flat, so if you wanted to put it underneath something to maybe, if you're on a city break, it's very easy to do that with this. This one, I mean, when you pinch it, it's probably still, even at a pinch, it's probably about 10 millimeters, which isn't particularly deep, but because of the foam in there, it wants to go back to its original shape. So it's a little less covert, and I don't even know why I use the word covert, but if you did want to use it to conceal something underneath, then it's just a little bit wider. But the fact that if you are wanting to take a small camera with you, you can put that in here, and the EVA foam around it will give it a lot of protection from things like bangs, from bumps, from scrapes. Obviously you wouldn't want to drop it anyway, but there is a little bit of drop protection. This isn't scientifically tested from me. If I was to drop a camera from here, it would give a little bit more protection. Or if you're out in the wilds and you're attacked by maybe a small bunch of badgers, you could easily take a few headbutts from a few badgers, and again, whatever is in here will certainly be protected. So to go through the features, or what we've got on here, the sides, both of the sides are identical. The one thing to point out, and again, it's just a difference with some other style packs, but it's certainly one that's starting to be used more, is rather than having the straps stitched in here just below where the zip is, they've opted for the D-rings on the back, well at least I say on the back, but it's up on the sides. It gives the strap a little bit more of a closer fit to your body, and it also allows for more articulation depending on where you want to carry it. If you do have a strap that you're particularly fond of, it also means that you can swap those in and out, but we'll have a look at the strap in a second. But as far as the sides, they both have clean and simple sides. It's exactly the same across the bottom here. There's no lashing points or anything like that. On the front, again you have another clean plain panel. As far as different colours are concerned, I think there are 5 different colours. So this is the all black version, and there are 3 other different versions that have different camos on the front. So if you wanted to kind of mix it up a little bit with those, then you certainly can do. Past the actual exterior, we'll have a look at the back as well in a second, but you have a zipper onto this easy access pocket here on the front. So with this easy access pocket, you'll find that throughout this it's all lined, and it's very nice plush lining. You have this hook and loop on there, so that if you wanted to attach anything with hook and loop, you certainly can do. And then on the inside here, there are 2 smaller pouches for organisation, which certainly came in handy for carrying additional batteries, and also things like additional SD cards if you wanted to put those in. But things like cables, all of that sort of stuff, it's great to have in here. If you're using this for day trips for EDC, you want to drop your wallet in there, your wallet fits in perfectly as well. If you also want to maybe put your mobile phone in there, you can do. But I think with this, there's no sort of lock for this closure, so it's probably better to use the pocket on the back if you want to discreetly carry something that's a little bit easier to get into. Across the top, or on the front here, it's just a single zip. Rather than an ambi open, but I think with pretty much all of these style packs it is a single zip for this front section, whereas across the top it is fully ambi open, depending on whether you want to carry it on your left side like I do, you want to carry it on your right side. There's options for you both, and this is the main reason I just have this one pull on here, and it's on this on the left hand side zip. So if I want to get into it, I can just pull that open and get in. I don't tend to use this one because it's on the other side. It's a nice little tip if you want a little tip on zipper pull management, maybe. So you can pull this open. I'm just going to fold these back so that you can see into here a little bit better, but you have, and I'd say this is the main majority of that 1.5 litres, you have a large single pocket in here so that you can put your camera equipment, you can put your phone, you can put your wallet, you can put your keys, your sunglasses maybe, whatever you want, you can drop that in here. All of the stitching around the top and the sides, and even on the inside as well, is all reinforced with this nice nylon webbing. And again, throughout all of this, you have this hook and loop on there as well. Now, the main reason that the hook and loop is in this main compartment is it comes with this additional section divider. Now, I would put this in, but okay, if I pull this over like that, the hook and loop game on this is strong. So if you wanted to put this in, you can add this in here so that you can have different sectional dividers. Maybe if you want to put a small camera on one side, you've got some other filming equipment, you want to put that on the other side. I don't think this is the size of bag that maybe you'd have a small DSLR or maybe a mirrorless one, and a lens on this side. I think you'd squeeze to get something like that in here, but it does give you a little bit of organisation should you want to add this in. Now, it's a bit of a wrestle getting this in and out. The hook and loop on this is that new kind of hook and loop that you get on, and it seems to attach to the DNA of the actual item itself. So it's good fun trying to get it on and trying to get it off. But yeah, so there's that section, and I'm just going to flip this over so that you can see here on the back there is another additional slip pocket. Now, rather than having a zip closure on this one, there's actually a magnet built into this. So if you can see there, it snaps closed with a magnet. And this is mainly that section that I was on about, so maybe if you did want to drop your wallet in there, then it's great for that, especially mobile phones as well. As this is the part that you put close to your body, certainly if somebody is wanting to put the hands in there, it's going to definitely make it a lot harder to get the hands in and out. In the back, I've actually got the stuff that comes with it, so it gives you a bit of information about the zips. It gives you a little bit of information about the eco-friendly credentials of Cordura. Oh, what's it called now? Cordura Eco. It's also coated with using antimicrobial technology. So certainly, if you're worried in this day and age about bugs, then that's good. But you know, this is antimicrobial, so it's bacteria, it's mold, it's fungus rather than viruses. And then this is actually a bit that I really like. So on there is a little thank you note from Hex to say thank you for purchasing their product. I think that's a really nice little feature, and I think more companies should do things like that. You know, thank you for buying our products. Strap wise, the strap is a very, very high quality nylon. So this is very similar to a seat belt in a car. It's a 1.5 inch belt, which again, you know, it's very nice. It's also rounded on the sides, so if you're concerned, you know, that this sort of stuff scratches against your neck, you shouldn't worry about this. As far as length, if I open this to its fullest and put it on, so I'm 5'10" and it goes down to my waistband. If you wanted to put it on its smallest, which you would have to be very, very small or have a very small chest to be able to get this round you. You know, maybe if you're got a pigeon chest or something, that maybe you could possibly get in there. Apologies to any pigeons. I'm certainly not trying to discriminate against pigeons or owners of pigeon chests. So there's the bag itself. I generally like the form factor on this, especially the fact that this is fully lined, and it's fully lined with that EVA foam around it. Having a mobile phone in here, especially with some of the other type of bags, it's a smaller bag, so you just want to kind of toss it down and wherever it lands. But with the foam in here, you've just got that extra protection. Now I did say, so we do have some tests that I like to do here on Moorlander EDC, just so that you can see what you can fit in here. The first one being now an internationally recognised test, and that is how many Monster Energy cans can you fit in. So I did mention this is 1.5 litres, and you can easily fit in 2 cans of Monster Energy drink. So these are the larger cans. I don't think you can get smaller cans, but you know, you can certainly fit those in there. This might definitely be a throwback, especially to some of the millennials out here. This is called a book. These were used before Kindles, before iPads. It's a very simple system of pages with letters on them. So you just kind of turn the page when you need to get on to the next one, but it's a particularly thick book. I had this when I lived in New Zealand in 2005, so you know, it's a big one. It's definitely a big one, but does it fit? The answer to that question is hell yes, brother. So takes a little bit of finagling, however it will fit. So does it pass the New Zealand Adventures what book was it? It was Lord of the Rings. It definitely fits. So it's a good size. Maybe if you wanted to test this with maybe some DVDs, if any of you remember what they are, then you can fit at least 4 DVD cases into there as well. Now, similar style bags, one that we've looked at a little bit today, I've kind of been bringing this in quite a bit. So we have the Eastpak One bag. Now the main difference between the two of these, well, especially similarities wise, if you can see, they're both roughly the same size. The Eastpak says that this is 2 litres rather than 1.5 litres. I think this is a Napoleon Syndrome style 5'11.5" person claiming that they're 6 foot. But the main difference being that there's absolutely no lining or anything like that in this. So if you want to, on city breaks, you want to crossbody this underneath a jacket, it's great for that. But certainly with the Hex Ranger Crossbody bag, you get a lot more protection against electronics that are in here. I'll leave a link to this here or here, whichever side it is, no one ever really knows. And you can see how I used some of those other tests for this. We also have, which is reasonably new to me, is the Hex small crossbody bag. Again, they're both a similar size. With the Hex, this is slightly larger in both width and height. But again, with this, it's 500D Cordura. There's no lining or anything like that. So there's very little protection that you can get that is certainly afforded you with the Hex Ranger Crossbody bag. I think all in all, having Hex being a new company to me, I'm certainly very impressed with this. And as far as whether I'd recommend it to others, I highly would. Purely down to, you've got some great materials in this, you've got some great hardware, and that extra protection. I know I've probably said this a lot today, but that extra protection, if you're the type that is carrying a camera, or you're carrying equipment, any sort of equipment really with you, or even if you're just into EDC and you want to make sure that whatever you have in here is protected, the additional EVA foam lining around this certainly does a very good job. And just that little zipper thing, like I say, so whether this was done on purpose, but the zip pulls, how smooth they are with this, it's something that I've noticed, and I think it's something that's certainly worth saying. So I'd like to say a massive thank you to Hex for sending this my way. I certainly look forward to future possible collaborations. I'll leave all of Hex's links in the description below. Full disclosure, now I said that this was sent to me free of charge, but with the agreements that I have with everybody that I work with, all of the information given you today is, or at least all of the opinions given today, are 100% my opinion. I've not been paid or given any money other than a free product to endorse this or review it favourably. It is 100% my opinion that's been given today, and yeah, you know, I genuinely do like this. I'll leave some of my social media links in the description below as well. If you did choose to hit like, subscribe and share, I definitely want to say thank you for doing that. It definitely helps out my channel. But for now, stay safe, stay Moorlander, and stay EDC. Shoot. Hi, I'm the Moorlander, and this is Moorlander EDC. The boys are out today with me in the yard, so if you can hear them tripping around, then that's what that is in the background. Now let's start again. But nobody cares. I'm going for the double ambi open. It's just a single zip, and this will then open you out. Would you believe that, Stanley? Seriously? Mate! Shoot. Hi, I'm the Moorlander, and this is Moorlander EDC. Why would I say like that? That's just weird. Shoot. Hi, I'm the Moorlander, and this is Moorlander EDC. Now, oh no.